Tech by Tips.
Hello and welcome to another Tech by Tips video. Today's video comes from a request that we have received in the channel a few months ago and I didn't have the time to look at. And this comes from Dananjay Tech, and he says, I have been trying to get any theme installed for QBitTorrent, but it seems to result in unacceptable file type. Only regular file is allowed every single time. Can you make a guide on it? So this is probably going to be a very short video, very straightforward, but I wanted to make sure that I covered this request from this person. So let's go into that really quickly. First of all, we need to find a theme for QBitTorrent. So the best way to do that is to go into the GitHub repository for QBitTorrent. They have an option here in the wiki. They have a list of known QBitTorrent themes. And in here you can go into any of these, pick it, and then go to the different repositories that have this. In my case, I selected the one called Material QBitTorrent, which is this one, and I opened it here. And it says that the file that I need to install this is actually on the releases. So he even tells you the instructions of how to do it here. So you need to go and get that qbtheme file from the releases. So if you go to releases, you'll see it here, and then you can download this thing here. And that's the file that you need. I already downloaded it and saved it in a folder where I have a portable version of QBitTorrent to show this. So that's the first thing that we need to do. And then pretty straightforward, the instructions tell us that we need to go into the tools, options, and behavior, and then we have to select the user interface theme there. So let's go and do that. The first thing is we're going to go into the QBitTorrent application. This is the actual application for like Windows, not the web application from the container that we have set up before. Then you go into tools, you go into options, and then in here you select behavior. And in here you should see something that says use a custom UI theme. So you can click on that and then you browse for that file that you want, which I said it was going to be in my portable apps folder. So here's the file that I downloaded from the releases. Note that it's a qbtheme file. So if your file is not a qbtheme, it's probably going to give you problems. So make sure that you select that. And then once you do that, you can apply it on OK. But you notice that nothing changed. That is because for you to see the changes, you need to restart the application. So I'm going to close the application and then I'm going to open it again. And you'll notice that it's going to look very different. So now as you can see here, the user interface has indeed changed to match that theme that I installed. So if I want to get rid of that, so you can see, you know, this is small icons or different colors. So let's go back and change it to the original one by unchecking that box, closing the application and starting it again. And we should see now that it has the old interface that has the blue icons in here. So that's how you change the theme in QBitTorrent in the application. Now, if you're curious, can you do that too with the web user interface for QBitTorrent? You cannot, and let me show you why. If you go into tools, options, then you go into behavior, there is no option here that allows you to select an interface theme. The only options that you have is the colors. If it's light or if it's dark, that is it. You don't have any other option like we saw in the full-fledged application. So no, it does not apply to the web interface of QBitTorrent. I just wanted to make sure that you have that clear. All right, we've validated that there's no option here to upload a qbtheme file, but there is a way to implement those files in here. So how did this person get this problem? Is because they went here into web UI, and in here they selected use alternative web UI, and they probably provided a wrong path here, or they provided the path to the qbtheme file, and this doesn't work that way. If you do that, then you get that message that he was mentioning in the request. So what you have to do here is first you need to download a different type of files. So if you go here, it says list of alternative web UI. If you click on that link, it's going to take you to here. And on this URL, then we'll be able to see the options that are currently available. And it's important to know that these are community initiatives. They're not supported officially. So if something breaks, you have to get rid of it and then, look for another one. So for the sake of the video, I'm going to select this one that says Dracula QBitTorrent. And if I click on that, it's going to take me to their repository here. And if you want to read more information about it, there's a website that they have, which is draculatheme.com/QBitTorrent, and it takes you here. So you can read more about it here, and it has the instructions of how to set it up in the web UI. So it's pretty straightforward. The important thing is that you are not going to use a qbtheme file. You're actually going to download the repository, and there's a folder inside that repository that is what you're going to put in a place that your container can see. We're going to go into the repository, and we're going to do a code download as zip, and that's going to create a download, and we're going to say store it in the place where I store all my information for my containers. So in my case, it's here on the containers QBitTorrent, right? So I downloaded the file here, so you can see the zip file that contains the branch of the repository. So we're gonna go inside this zip file. We're gonna go inside there, and we're gonna look for this folder that is named Web UI. We're gonna copy this. We're gonna go back, and in here, where we have the QBitTorrent folder, we need to have that folder. So you paste it here, and then that's gonna put it here. And if you notice, this is not a qbtheme file. It is basically a whole folder structure that replicates what the original user interface does, but with modifications. So now that we have this folder here, we need to know what to pass to the user interface to use this, right? So I have mounted this in the container in the /config. So /config points to this directory here that says QBitTorrent. But in there we have a QBitTorrent, and in there we have the web UI. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the application. We're going to select use alternative web UI, and then we're going to put /config, and then it's going to start populating the remaining folders that we have. So then we have inside that QBitTorrent, and inside that we have web UI. So we select there web UI, so config QBitTorrent web UI. That's all that we need, because that's the path to that directory that I just showed that contains the web UI that we just downloaded from the repo. And once we have that, notice that the background color is black here. So we're going to see some changes when I click apply. There you go. Now you see that the background changed to like a bluish tint, and it changed a little bit how the user interface looks. And if we go into the website, it looks exactly like the sample that they give us here. So that's how you install a theme in the web UI version of QBitTorrent. You need to make sure that you download the repository that contains that web UI folder, because the web UI folder is what we need to make accessible to our container. So that's going to be it for this video. It's going to be a short one. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so, because that's very important. It helps us to grow. Hit the bell so you don't miss any uploads that I push to the channel. And leave me comments in the comment section below, because as you can see, a lot of my videos are trying to help you out with things that you would like to see, or if you're having troubles with something, I try to figure it out for you and give you a guide that can help you to get it going. And if you have any questions, then I also try to reply to you directly in the comment section to try to help you out. And you should have noticed also that there was no ad on my video. That is on purpose, because I'm not monetizing the channel. But that also means that if I spend the effort to make a video, I get nothing from it. I get no money. So if you like the content and you want to support me, there's a link in the description below for PayPal where you can donate, or there's also a Bitcoin wallet address where you can donate if you prefer to do it that way. So that's going to be it for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.